A night 6 years in the making. For the first time in Saugerties Stallions franchise history, the Stallions are hosting a playoff game, and they do so against the 6th seed, the Geneva RedWIngs, coming off of an upset of the 3rd seeded Jamestown Tarpskunks. John Gross alongside Jake Starr. Jake, a monumental night for this franchise. What does it mean to finally host a playoff game?
It means everything. This has been the goal since day one of this organization. You know, it's about a championship contender. They got that. Now they have themselves a home playoff game. And tonight's a big opportunity. As we said, it's win, and you're in the championship.
Brady Slinger leads off for the RedWIngs. The 303 hitter on the ground. There's Jared Brown. And there's one out. Give you the starting lineups momentarily for Jamestown, coming off of an upset victory last night. 4-3, for Geneva, coming off of a 4-3 upset win over Jamestown. Maybe a bit of a surprise on the scoreboard, but this is a team who's been hot. They won 4 straight games.
No, they've been hot indeed, and for the Stallions on the other end, the key is going to be, you know, you were off for a bunch of days. How are you going to respond after that? It's a team that has really struggled after being off for some days in a row.
Nick Fournet takes a strike. Andres Affont on the mound, making his 8th appearance of the season, all 8 starts. A 3.14 ERA in the season, 2-1 record. Has 35 strikeouts, 4 walks in 34 and a 1/3 inning of work. And Affont ahead 1-2 on Fournet. 278 hitter. Hitless in his last 2 games, was 0 for 4 last night against Jamestown. In the field for Saugerties, it's Affont to the mound. Max Morris behind home plate. Nick Iverson at 3rd. Jared Brown shortstop. Jack Renwick at 2nd. Kip Fugers at 1st. Wilhite, Stevenson, Verdusco left to right in the outfields. Backhand stop Fugers. 2 outs.
Well, that's a good start to this game. Andy Affont working around the strike zone so far. A couple of quick outs. That's what we like to see. It's going to be so important for Affont and the Stallions to kind of set the pace on the mound, get the ball back. We know how quick of a worker Affont can be. And he's done a good job so far through 2 batters.
2 outs in the first inning of the PGCBL semifinals. Winner of this goes to the championship series as Ben Griffin digs in a team-high 320 average on the season, and he strokes the first offering into left. We'll give you the batting order for the RedWIngs. It was Brady Slinger leading off at shortstop. The extra hitter, the 2-hitter, was Nick Fournet. Ben Griffin just had a single. He's at first base. Mike Borelli up now. Plays right field. Jackson Dejean catches and hits 5th. Dalton Cody 6th at 2nd base. Elliot Good hits 7th at 3rd. Thomas Latham in left field bats 8th. The 9-hitter Nicholas Surs had a big night last night, the DH, and Carson Hastings rounds out the order and bats last. Mike Borelli has a hit in 5 of his last 6. And he watches to strike. Jake, this is also an opportunity to see a new team. These 2 teams have not played this year. In fact, the first game for the Stallions against a squad from the West.
Yeah, it's honestly a little refreshing and not be seeing the same teams every night, but it's also going to be an interesting perspective. How do the Stallions match up with a non-Eastern Division team now? It's, you know, we've seen pretty much the East in a couple games against Mohawk Valley so far this summer.
Stallions 2-0 in interdivisional matchups, both against the Diamond Dogs. An early 0-2 with 2 outs for Affont.
Not a bad spot by Affont right there. Went upstairs to Borelli. Now we'll see maybe if he comes back with a curveball that starts kind of at the eyes and drops into the zone.
Yeah, Borelli, 266 hitter. Leads the team with 25 RBI. Lined again into left field. Wilhite cuts it off. Back-to-back singles with 2 outs, and the RedWIngs have a pair on base.
Yeah, he went to that curveball, as we said, John, but when you throw that curveball, it's got to get down. 1-2. You know, you can afford to put one below the knees, and he went a little bit too upstairs right there, hung it, and Affont, you know, pays the price there. So back-to-back singles with 2 outs. Now you got to find a way to get this last out here.
Brings up Jackson Dejean, hitting 262 on the season, riding a 6-game hit streak. And Jake, that's a common trend of a lot of these Geneva players. The team as a whole has found success late. These players individually are also streaking as of late.
Yeah, no, they're heating up, and they had a game last night. You know, going to carry some of that momentum into this game. That's going to be the key to watch tonight. It's going to be a team that, you know, has that momentum, has played a bunch of days in a row now, played last night. Against a team who's had a bunch of days off. Stallions haven't played since Tuesday at Glens Falls. Tonight's Saturday.
Ray Bryant, the home plate umpire, and in the field, Mark Irish and Tom Nager. A 3-man umpiring crew for the first time this season.
Mark Irish, a name that Stallions fans have become very familiar with this summer. Only seems appropriate that he makes another appearance for their first playoff game.
And between him and Zach Grant, those two atop the leaderboards, I think, of games umpired in Saugerties this year. And Dejean falls behind 1 and 2.
Well, Font gave up a two-out single to Borelli last at bat. Looking to avoid that same fate here. See if he tries to bury a breaking ball.
And a Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strikeout gets the Stallions out of the top of the first. No runs coming across for the RedWIngs on 2 hits and 2 left on base. Bottom one after this, scoreless in the PGCBL semifinals, live from Cantine Fields. Bottom of the first, Stallions batting order as follows. Josh Stevenson leads off, plays in center field. Jack Renwick bats second at second base. Kip Futures, the 3-hitter at first. Kate Verdusco, the cleanup batter in right field. Andrew Wilhite hits fifth and left. Colin Mackel, sixth in the DH. Max Morris slots seventh and catches. Nick Iverson, eighth at third base. And Jarrett Brown, ninth at shortstop. So Jake, just 9 batters tonight for Rich Doobie. Something we haven't seen since the first week of this season.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot early on in the season. When was Rich Doobie going to go back to the 9 batters, or if he was? We always wondered, maybe when it got closer to playoff time, he tightened things up. Well, it's playoff time. He's tightening things up a little bit, and we're going to kind of see what the results are tonight. And, statistically, it gets your best guys, especially, 1, 2, 3, 4. Could get them another, maybe an at-bat, and late in the game, that could become crucial.
Josh Stevenson leads off, the 298 hitter. And we talked about some of these Geneva guys finding success as a lane to the plate. Stevenson has recorded a base hit in 8 of his last 9 games. We've seen him bat first and third over these last week or so. But tonight, Rich Doobie has him in the leadoff spot. And he's facing Cam Holmes, making just his second appearance of the season.
He's only pitched 4 innings, given up 2 hits, a run. It was earned, walked 1, struck out 3 in that game. Got a no decision. So be really interested to see as Stevenson fouls that first curveball off. How do the Stallions respond to that? And, is this going to be someone who Geneva's going just out of need, or has he kind of been, a hidden thing, hidden up their sleeve, and they just had him coming to town recently?
Yeah, the 6'3" righty out of Miles College.
Went right back to that curveball there, too.
First ever home game and playoff game in Saugerties Stallions history. They got the first round bye after securing the 2 seed with a 27-12 regular season record. The 1-1 hit out to left field. Latham has time, and that's the first out. Jake, 2 teams who have also played a different number of games over the last few days at least. This is the first game after 3 days off for the Stallions. Geneva, of course, just played last night. Do you think that could factor into tonight's matchup at all?
It could, and that's what I'm kind of watching for in this matchup tonight, John. The Stallions have been a team that so far this season, especially the last month, it's been a lot of stop and start with the rain. Lots of days off, I think is the best way to put it. And I'm kind of interested to see, how do the Stallions respond? Can they, pick right up where they left off in that game against Glens Falls?
Jack Renwick digs in, watches a pitch for a ball, hitting .253 in this season. was 0 for 5 against Glens Falls. The Stallions' most recent game came back in the 27th, but entering that matchup was on a 4-game hitting streak. Sharply on the ground to short, and the throw is in time.
I think that was the first fastball we saw from Holmes tonight. Started off with 3 consecutive curveballs. You know, Stevenson did a nice job sending his the other way, right to the left fielder Latham for Geneva. But I wonder if that's going to be a theme tonight. Can we be pitching backwards a bit, starting at bats out with curveballs, then coming to the fastball, trying, because he doesn't throw the fastest fastball on Holmes.
Right.
But if you throw enough of those curveballs, it makes that fastball look a little bit faster.
Kip Fugers enters today in a 4-game hitting streak, hitting .327 in the season. And in 5 of his last 6. And he watches strike 2. That's
a hanger.
Very slow.
That's a hanger. That's slow. That's one if Kip gets again. He might deposit that one in the Stable Club deck.
Fugers into left center, and that is a base hit. Not quite the Stable Club, but still a very productive at-bat for Kip Fugers.
If you're Kim Holmes, you're not going to beat this team just throwing curveballs for strikes. They're going to recognize, and that curveball is slow enough for you to have enough time to adjust, and these guys are going to figure it out, and they're going to square it up.
Kate Verdusco, I think, changed his walk-up song, but I'm a fan. Batting in the cleanup spot tonight, which is what we've been accustomed to seeing from Verdusco. .383 average in the year. Has a hit in 4 straight entering tonight.
As we said, Holmes doesn't have the hardest fastball in the world, so he's really going to have to rely on hitting his spots precisely and mixing in his all-speed pitches.
And he takes ball 2. Stallions 7-3 over their last 10 games. Both these teams enter today playing some really good baseball. Barely got hit. Hey, Kate leads this team in hit by pitches, team high 8.
So leads the team in average as well, and this will be a big spot here from the get a big hit, keep the line rolling here in the first.
There's a strike.
The most important part of this game is going to be, what team strikes first. I think that's going to be so important for, as we said, a Stallions team, that the hope is that they're not rusty tonight after, as we said, 4 days off.
And Verdusco works a 5-pitch walk, so he'll head off to first, puts runners on first and second for Andrew Wilhite. Talk about taking some time off and not being rusty. Well, Andrew Wilhite has played just 2 games since July 21st, was out of town for about 5 or so days. In the 2 games back since that brief hiatus, has a hit in both. So he's been finding success at the plate, hitting .288 on the season.
Driven in 14 this season. You got 15 standing out there on second base, and Fugers, big spot here to strike early.
And he does! Into right field, and it gets under the glove of the right fielder Borelli. Fugers home. Verdusco home. Wilhite to third. A 2 RBI triple.
That's the start you needed right there. Andrew Wilhite, after back-to-back 2-out base runners for the Stallions, rips one down the right field line. The right fielder Borelli does a really poor play on the ball. That costs them a run right there. And we said it was going to be so important to strike first. That's what the Stallions did.
Andrew Wilhite. A clutch triple. And just like that, the Stallions take a 2-0 lead in the first inning of the PGCBL semifinals. Brings up Colin Mackel. Lifts the first pitch he sees into left center fields. And Latham made that maybe a little more difficult than he had to. Nonetheless, the Stallions get the job done. 2 runs coming across. A 2 RBI triple by Andrew Wilhite. And we head to the top of the second. 2-0 Stallions in the PGCBL semifinals, live on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Top of the second, 2-0 Saugerties after an Andrew Wilhite 2 RBI triple gets the scoring started. Stallions baseball is brought to you by 5-Star Awards and Tees, Top Custom Team Gear Awards. Benson Steel, the Stallions stolen base sponsor. They put stuff up you can't knock down. Bob Garrick Septic, honest, dependable, reliable. If you need it pumped out, call Bob. And BP's Carpentry and Maintenance. Jake, I don't know if you could have asked for a better start for the Stallions. No runs allowed at the top of the first. Get a big 2 RBI triple from Wilhite in the bottom of the first.
Now for Andy Afant, big opportunity here to get a shutdown inning. If you can retire Geneva here, especially quickly, that's going to do a lot for the momentum. This is where the momentum really gets seized.
First offering to Dalton Cody. And he grounds out to Jack Renwick. Already 3 ground outs by these Geneva batters.
Yeah, Font just pitching the contact so far. He doesn't throw the hardest, but he works quick, and he's always around the strike zone.
Well, Jake, we'll get our first look at tonight's K-Man. Elliot Good, a .211 hitter who was 0 for 2 against Jamestown. And this was a vote, right? This was a very democratic decision, right? Who voted for the K-Man? There was like 4
I think
people,
it ultimately came down to Michael, but we all kind of chipped in, gave our advice.
Okay. So there's no one person to blame or to give credit to if he strikes out or doesn't strike out.
I think Michael deserves the blame or the credit. He was the most responsible for this decision.
Michael acknowledges that he supports that.
I think it was a good pick. Let me just say that.
Well, Lafont's a third of the way there, but the count now at 2-1. I'm a strike away from making Michael Gross look like the smartest man in Saugerties.
After Cody swung at the first pitch to lead off the inning. Nice job so far from Good. Working a quality at-bat here. Here's pitch number 6.
And we'll see pitch number 7. Thomas Latham on deck as Afant makes his way through the bottom portion of this Red Wings lineup. And this put out towards left. That is just foul. A 3-man umpiring crew tonight for the first time this season. It's cool to see as well. There have definitely been some calls this year that have been close calls, and maybe it's not fair with just 2 umpires, but with 3, maybe not always the right call, but at least you'll have somebody in position to make a call.
Especially those foul and fair calls. Might not even ump down each line. Usually it's the home plate umpire who makes those calls, but that can be hard from their perspective. Not even an umpire that's out in the outfield behind third base. It makes that call a lot easier because that was a close call, closer than I think, could really give it justice for.
8th pitch of the at-bat. And Good will head off to first. So the third base runner of the game for Geneva is on board as Thomas Latham steps to the plate, hitting .213 of this season. Hitless in his last 2, which includes an 0 for 2 performance last night against Jamestown. How about both underdogs pulling off upsets in the first round of the playoffs?
That's the best thing about baseball. You just never know on any given day what can happen.
It was a 4-3 win for this Geneva squad last night against the 3-seeded Jamestown Tarpskunks. Game that came down to the wire. The other end of the spectrum was a pretty lopsided win for Auburn as the 5-seed defeated the 4-seeded Utica Blue Sox. Grounder, Iverson goes 1. A nice play from the hot corner for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, no chance of turning 2 there. Basically as good as a bunt from Latham. And now you got a runner on second, with 2 outs. You got the 9-hole hitter up, so pretty good position here if you're Andy Afant.
Nicholas Searce steps in, and I'll tell you this, Nick Iverson was working on those exact type of defensive plays yesterday with assistant coach Adam Cray, charging on grounders, making throws off to first, something he is used to, as Searce, who was the catalyst of the Red Wings offense last night with 3 RBI, watches the first pitch, hitting .244 this season, had a home run and a double against the Tarp Skunks.
Yeah, this is a Geneva team that had a long drive there and from Jamestown last night.
Yeah.
About 3 hours each way, and then a 3.5-hour ride here today. So they're a team that's been traveling a lot.
And Renwick is able to keep it in the infield. He's going to throw to the plate. Oh! Did he get him? No, he did not. Oh, my goodness. And Max Morris is in disbelief.
I guess there's no out of the baseline in that situation either.
Elliot Good called safe by home plate umpire Ray Bryant.
Here comes Rich Doobie.
What a way for Geneva to get on the scoreboard. There is no replay review. And a quick chat as Rich Doobie is going to head back to the dugout.
Wow, that was, you got to give credit to Good, though. He made a heck of an effort to get in there. Probably not the best decision to wave him from third. That ball didn't kick as far from Renwick as I think the third base coach thought, but pretty much you just locked yourself into a run.
So the inning continues. That would have been the final out. So Circe another RBI. And now Carson Hastings at the plate, hitless over his last 3. Inside out into left, and Wilhite has it. That wraps up the top of the second. A controversial run coming across for Geneva. 1 run on 1 hit and 1 left on base. We head to the bottom of the second. 2-1 Stallions on the Saugerties Stallions Broadcast Network. Bottom of the second, Max Morris leads off. 7-8-9-2 up for Saugerties. Just a 10-person lineup tonight for the 9-person lineup for the Stallions tonight after going with 10 for much of the season. Morris hitting .250 on the season. Although hitless in his last 3, that follows a 4-game hitting streak. So after that dream start for Morris, he's cooled off a bit at the plate.
Yeah, he's been a nice surprise, especially defensively. He's been pretty good behind the plate. Looking to get the bat going here tonight.
Slinger at shortstop. Flips on in time for the first out. Brings up Nick Iverson.
Yeah, nice play there at shortstop by Singer. Not the easiest play in the world. Slinger, excuse me. That ball took a bit of a tough hop. Caught him kind of in between. Did a nice job kind of trapping that against his chest and then making the play over to first. Morris not the fastest of guys as a catcher, so had some extra time to make that play.
Iverson, a .203 average in the year. First time above 200 since back on June 24th. Has been hitting very well as of late. Back-to-back multi-hit games. Has a hit in 3 straight, 4 of his last 5. It's been guys like Iverson, guys like Renwick that have picked things up as the season's progressed.
And those are the guys you need to pick things up because you know what you're getting out of your Kip Fugers, your Cade Verduscos, your Andrew Wilhites, you know, the heart of that order. But you need those guys at the bottom of the lineup to produce if you're going to make a run in this tournament.
So there, the first strike on Iverson. Jared Brown on deck. first home playoff game in Saugerties Stallions history. A win puts them in the PGCBL championship.
Holmes just feeding curveballs so far. Interesting to see how his approach maybe changes the second time through the lineup. Especially if the Stallions can start to recognize some of those curveballs that stay up.
Well, we've talked about this before, but the importance of having a home game, the playoff, the Stallions, only other playoff games are on the road, 0-2 all-time, both at Amsterdam. So they get a chance at home tonight against, again, a Geneva team who they have not played this season. As the full count offering fouled away.
Good at bat so far from Iverson. It was a 2-pitch at bat to Morris. Iverson so far has gotten 7 pitches here on Holmes in this at bat. You know, obviously we don't know what the bullpen situation looks like for Geneva. They have a lot of strong pitchers that come out of the bullpen, but don't really know who's available. So, you know, we'll see what happens once they get into that situation.
3-2 floated to right field. It's tailing foul, and it's caught in foul territory by a streaking Mike Borelli for the second out.
Yeah, good at bat by Iverson, but he just couldn't get the timing down on that curveball. You know, fouled a couple off the hands, hit that one off the hands. That was kind of tailing towards foul territory, and Borelli made a really nice play, racing over. Probably a good, about 80, 90 feet to make that play. I didn't think he was going to get it at first.
No.
I thought I was going to drop. Then at the last second, so put on the Jets and made a play.
He's quick out right field. That's Borelli. Now 2 quick outs. Jared Brown digs in. First pitch he sees, lined into center. And we'll flip things from bottom to top of the order.
Jared Brown, another guy who's kind of heated up as of late. 155, but it was lower than that before the season started, or I guess earlier in the season when he got here in the Saugerties a couple of weeks into the season. That's a nice piece hitting right there. Turns the lineup over to Josh Stevenson. Stallions did their damage last inning with 3 straight 2-out base runners, a couple of hits. Now they got a 2-out base runner in Brown. We'll see if they can go back to work.
Stevenson 0 for 1 of the night, a fly out to left field. Keep in mind, it was a lefty in Wilhite who had that triple. Another lefty now at the plate in Stevenson. And he takes the first offering into right. Brown's going to hold at second. Back-to-back singles with 2 outs in the second. And Jack Renwick can bring home another run.
Back-to-back singles on the first pitch, too. Stallions 2 straight. First pitch, 2-out singles. Now you're back to the heart of the lineup here. See what Jack Renwick can do. So far this season, Renwick has driven in 14. 15 and 16 out there. They'd be big ones.
Renwick 0 for 1, grounded out to shortstop.
Action in the Geneva bullpen, too.
Yeah, ready some action. It's only Holmes' second appearance of the summer when 4 innings against Niagara back in the 27th. So a new addition to this Geneva squad. He finds the zone to Renwick. That game only gave up 1 run. Has already allowed 2. And a 2 RBI triple by Andrew Wilhite back in the first. And Renwick behind 0-2.
That's one of the best curveballs we've seen from Holmes so far tonight, John. That one just, the bottom completely fell out of it and dived towards the dirt. Now Renwick has to fight here. He's taking BP earlier, really working on choking up at the bat, driving the ball the other way. You see he's choked up again, a big gap between first and second.
Slow roller. In comes Elliott Good. On the move. Just in time, called out by Mark Irish. And the Stallions kept off the board in the bottom of the second. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left on base. We're through 2. 2-1 Stallions. The PGCBL semifinals live on the Saugerties Stallions Broadcast Network.
Top three, top of the lineup to the plate for Geneva. Stallions lead at 2-1 here in the PGCBL semifinals between the Stallions and the RedWIngs from Geneva. Brady Slinger leads things off, the shortstop, going up against Andre Safant, back out for his third inning of work. First pitch misses outside for a ball, makes the count 1-0 to him.
Now second time through the lineup for the RedWIngs. They scored 1 run the first time through.
That one hit foul to the left side, evens up the count at 1 apiece to Slinger, who's 0 for 1 so far tonight. Led off the game with a first pitch ground ball to the shortstop Jarrett Brown. Even the count at 1-1, here's the pitch from Afant. That's on the outside corner with the fastball. Makes the count 1-2 to Slinger.
And Iverson playing up at the cutout. Now he's going to retreat back to his normal position at third with 2 strikes.
Afant from the wind, here's the pitch. That one's a low pitch that's fouled. Softly, left side. Count remains at 1-2 to Slinger. Slinger was .304 this season. No home runs, 20 runs driven in. Here's the 1-2. That one's fouled right side. Hit sharply towards the crowd. 1-2, no outs, top 3. Andre Safant toes the first base side of the rubber. Working from the windup, here's the pitch. That one misses above the letters, makes the count 2-2. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat, the Slinger. Here it is from Afant. Another low pitch, fouled off the foot of Slinger.
And Jake, this is what we've seen a lot of tonight from Geneva. A lot of just battling, fouling off 2-strike pitches, protecting at the plate. We saw it with Elliot Good. He reached down a walk, ended up scoring the only run the RedWIngs have scored so far. That's how they've been able to find success. Fight off 2-strike pitches and keep at-bats going.
2-2, nothing away. Afant working from the windup. Sets and deals. Another curveball fouled back by Slinger. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. The Slinger, who's having an excellent leadoff at-bat to this inning. After going down on his first pitch, his first time up, he has seen now 9 pitches. That one fouled left side and out of play. And that'll make it 10 pitches on the next one from Andre Safant. What an at-bat by Brady Slinger.
And we saw an 8-pitch at-bat to Elliot Good. We're seeing 10 pitches in this at-bat, leadoff batter Slinger. Jake, this is what you can expect. Playoff baseball. Guys are going to play their best baseball, be very disciplined at the plate, and battle.
Here's a 2-2. That one's hit softly towards second high. Renwick fields it on a friendly hop. Gets over to first in time for the first out of the inning, and will bring Nick Fournay to the plate, 1 down. Fournay 0 for 1 so far tonight, grounded out to the first baseman Fugers. Back in the first. First pitch from Afant. And on the hands, foul territory, blooped right to Fugers, who runs over and makes the catch for the second out of the inning. That'll bring the 3-hole hitter Ben Griffin to the plate after a 10-pitch at-bat from Slinger. Fournay down on his first.
And that'll help the pitch count. 2 completely opposite sides of the spectrum. 10 pitches, then 1 pitch. Nonetheless, you get 2 outs, and again, Afant and out away from ending this third.
Ben Griffin, the first baseman, to the plate now. 1 for 1 so far tonight. First pitch from Afant, misses above the letters for a ball, counts 1-0.
Jake, Joe Scarone out of Westchester University warming up in the bullpen for the RedWIngs.
That one's fouled back. Westchester University of Pennsylvania?
Yes, your neck of the woods.
That is my neck of the woods.
From Broomall, PA.
Broomall, PA.
Yeah.
1-1 pitch to Griffin from Afant. That one's in on the hands, hit high. Shallow right center field. Renwick backs up. He's caught off by the right fielder, Verdusco, who charges in and makes the catch. And that will retire the side. Down in order goes Geneva. We'll head to the bottom of the third. 2-1 Stallions from this PGCBL playoff semifinal game. Stallions Baseball brought to you by Delvecchia and Kraft Injury Lawyers. Hit by a pitch sponsor. If you've been hit, call Delvecchia and Kraft Injury Attorneys. Dallas Hot Wieners, the bullpen sponsor of the Stallions, bringing the hot sauce out of the bullpen. Design yourself strong sports performance at DYS. They build better athletes. And Dwyer Contracting, high-quality craftsmanship in a family-owned business. Bottom three, 2-1 Stallions. 3-4-5 set to come to the plate for Saugerties. Kip Futures leads things off. He singled and scored back in the first, a part of a 2-run first inning that gave the Stallions an early lead in this one.
Jake, a phenomenal place to be in the lineup for the Stallions. You have 3, 4, 5 due up, all of whom reached and were responsible in one way or another in the 2 runs they came across.
Cam Holmes, third inning of work, works from the windup and deals the Futures. A curveball that Futures swung out of his shoes for, and foul tips it back, caught by the catcher, Dejean, and the count's 0-1 now to Futures.
These pitches have to be low 70s. He is really slowing things down.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Another curveball hit right to the shortstop Slinger sharply, up with it across. It's in time for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring Cade Verdusco to the plate.
And the big thing when you're facing a pitcher like this, you have to be patient. A lot of times pitchers are going to look really good coming out of the hand, but you have to wait because he's gone, I mean, we don't have exact numbers, but I'd guess 70% at least with that breaking pitch. So you have to be patient, stay back in the box. If you see a pitch that you like, go for it, but don't be too over-anxious.
First pitch to Verdusco comes from Holmes out of the windup. Misses at the letters, counts 1-0 to Verdusco. Verdusco walked back in the first, scored on Andrew Wilhite's RBI double. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Holmes. It's another all-speed pitch that misses low and away. Counts 2-0 now to Verdusco.
And you have Wilhite on deck. Clearly lefty is finding some success today against Holmes, so it'll be big if Verdusco can get on.
2-0 the count, here's the pitch. That one up towards the head of Verdusco. He's up 3-0, and he's 1 pitch away from drawing his second walk tonight. He's walked 12 times so far this season, including tonight. This would be lucky number 13 if he can draw it right here. Holmes, the righty, works from the windup and deals the 3-0 pitch. That misses outside, ball 4. So 2 straight walks to start this game for Cade Verdusco, and the Stallions have a 1-out base runner for Andrew Wilhite.
And Jake, this is really the first time that the Stallions are going to have an opportunity to steal. A team that has an 89% success rate in stolen bases, that leads the PGCBL, but with Verdusco on first, who has 9 bags of the season, it'll be interesting to see how aggressive Adam Cray is. He's been very aggressive all season long with stealing bases, especially the last couple of weeks. Today, a playoff game, I don't know if his approach will be any different.
Yeah, the key is always you got to approach playoff games like you'd approach any other game. Wilhite to the plate. First pitch from Holmes. Gets in there for a called strike. Makes the count 0-1 to Verdusco. Excuse me, Wilhite. And it feels like that fastball is a little bit faster than the other ones we've seen so far tonight.
Maybe a little bit more behind it, but it's nothing overwhelming.
Here's the 0-1 to Wilhite. Curveball, swings and misses at that one. Strike number 2. And that's the key there, John. When you go with that fastball that's time to start the at-bat, it slows down that curveball, and you saw Wilhite way in front of it.
Right, even though that fastball is not overpowering, it's still a good velocity differential between fastball and curveball that changes things at the eyes.
The 0-2 pitch, hit hard but foul on the left side. Count remains 0-2 to Wilhite.
Going back to the stolen bases discussion, we haven't really seen, actually haven't seen Holmes at all go to his pickoff move, so we don't know what it looks like. Be curious to see if Verdusco tries to take a little bit of an extra stride, maybe to test Holmes a bit.
Here's the 0-2. Wilhite fouls that one back. 4 pitches, 2 strikes, 2 foul balls for Wilhite. Stallions had 3 base runners in the first, 2 in the second. Now 1 here in the third. 6 total. We've yet to really see anyone steal any bases yet. As the count's 0-2 to Andrew Wilhite. Holmes set at the letters. Here's the pitch. And it misses upstairs above the letters for a ball and makes the count 1-2.
Still behind though. Choke up. Protect the plate. Just fight off anything in the zone.
Verdusco leads off first. He worked the 1-out walk. The pitch to Wilhite hit hard foul down the line. Almost hit the first base umpire, Mark Irish. Had to duck a little bit out of the way there. That's on the third foul ball on this at-bat from Wilhite. And the count remains 1-2, 1 out.
Jake, we've seen a few of those line drive foul balls now from both teams. Batters seem to be seeing these pitches pretty well.
1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. Ball is hit high and hard towards right. It's slicing foul down the line and out of play. That ball was smoked into the tennis courts down the right field line. And that ball was 15, 20 feet to the left. Stallions lead at 4-1 right now on a Wilhite home run.
Well, here's the good news. Wilhite is seeing it well. He's hitting it well today. Had a triple back in the first inning and nearly had a home run. So promising signs for Andrew Wilhite.
1-2 the count. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Here it is. Misses inside the Wilhite. Had to move his way out of the way of that one. They throw back to first behind Verdusco, who's back in standing up. And now the count's 2-2, 1 out. Verdusco on first, bottom 3. Stallions lead at 2-1.
And what a throw from Jackson Dejean. Nearly got him.
Holmes set at the letters. Here's the 2-2. That one misses just outside. Caught a ball by Ray Bryant, the home plate umpire. And that runs the count full now to Andrew Wilhite.
You have another lefty on deck and Colin Mackel. What an at-bat this would be if Wilhite could reach after getting behind 0-2.
Counts full, 1 out. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat from Holmes to Wilhite. Here it is. On the outside corner, called strike 3. They throw down the second, and Verdusco is out. Verdusco thought Wilhite walked, so he slowed into a jog, and it's a strike him out, throw him out. Not a heads-up play all around. The call was delayed by the home plate umpire, Ray Bryant. But Verdusco caught sleeping heading in the second, and that will retire the sides. The Stallions go down in order on a very weird end of the inning. We'll head to the 4th. Stallions lead 2-1. Andy Affont back out to the mound after this. Top 4, Stallions lead at 2-1 over the Geneva RedWIngs here in the PGCBL playoffs semifinals. Winner goes on to the championship to take on the winner of Amsterdam and Auburn, who are also playing right now. Mike Borelli, the lead cleanup hitter, leads things off. First pitch to him from Affont, hit towards third. Iverson fields it on a short hop, steps and fires across. It's in time. Another first pitch out for Andy Affont, and that'll bring the 5-0 hitter Jackson Dejean to the plate for Geneva.
Jake, we were just talking off air. 2 potential momentum-changing plays have gone Geneva's way today. The unbelievable slide at the plate to score their lone run so far, and then Verdusco not going down to steal. If Affont can post another 0, that would be massive and try to curb some of the momentum going towards Geneva.
First pitch of Dejean on the inside corner for a called strike. Speaking of that Amsterdam game, the Mohawks lead the Double Days 5-1 in the bottom of the 5th in that game at Shuttleworth Park. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Affont. That one's hit foul, counts now 0-2. Amsterdam, the #1 overall seed in this tournament. The Stallions, the 2 seed, both from the Eastern Division. Potentially on a collision course to play for the championship. Here's the 0-2. That one's hit sharply foul to the left side. Count remains 0-2, 1 out to Jackson Dejean.
And Dejean out of St. Bonaventure. We saw Ronnie Kelder directing the outfield a little bit towards right field. He's seen Tyler play with Jackson, knows what his tendencies are.
Here's the 0-2, misses down for a ball. Counts 1-2 now to Dejean. I was going to say that, him and Tyler Kelder, Tyler not in the lineup tonight, know each other, quite well. Obviously, yeah. Tyler going down to Florida Atlantic to play his final season. Here's the 1-2, fouled back by Dejean. Count remains 1-2, and it's another long at-bat, which we've seen both teams force on the opposing pitchers. It feels like it's been one extreme or the other. It's either been no pitch, 1 pitch, 2 pitches at-bats, or 8 pitch, 9 pitch at-bats.
It really has been.
Here's the 1-2 pitch from Andy Affont. That one bounces. It's by the catcher Morris. Doesn't matter if no one on base. Counts 2-2.
And just to go back to what we were just saying about Ronnie Kelder, Tyler Kelder, they know Dejean's tendencies. These two teams haven't played this year. Any little bit of information you can get on the opposing team could go a long way to helping you.
Here's the 2-2 from Affont. That one's hit sharply foul. At the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Count remains 2-2. Dejean, the lone strikeout tonight for Affont. He struck out swinging back in the first to end that inning. Affont looking to get his second strikeout here, and his second strikeout of the catcher from St. Bonaventure.
This will be his 53rd pitch.
Here's the 2-2. That misses upstairs for a ball, runs the count full. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat to Dejean. This will be pitch number 55. Here it is, the full count pitch. Just below the knees, ball 4. An excellent at-bat from Jackson Dejean. And he works himself a 1-out walk. Dalton Cody to the plate. And now you begin to talk about it. I know it's only the 4th. How many pitches are we going to see Andy Affont throw tonight? And at that point, then, what comes next for the Stallions?
Well, Affont has been the guy that Rich Doobie's been willing to stretch out. Affont's gone 6 innings a couple times this season. It's the playoffs right now, quite possibly Affont's last appearance. You figure Rich Doobie and his coaching staff are going to stretch him out as much as they can.
Affont back to the stretch. The first pitch to Cody, down for a ball just below the knees. According to the home plate umpire, Ray Bryant. Still 1 down, top 4. Stallions lead at 2-1. Geneva looking to strike back. After a 1-out walk by Jackson Dejean, Affont throws over, back in safely, head first. Is Dejean. Dejean not much of a threat to steal, only 1 stolen base on the season. Here's the 1-0. That one gets the inside corner, counts now 1-1 to Cody.
Yeah, and you look at this lineup, really just 2 guys who are threats to steal, Brady Slinger and Nick Fournet, the top 2 in this order, both tied for second in the team with 11 stolen bases on the year.
Font set above the letters. Here's the pitch. That one's hit sharply towards short. Brown fields, flips the Renwick for 1. Throw to first is in time. An inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. Brown, the Renwick, the Futures, and that will retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for Geneva. Ahead of the bottom of the 4th. Stallions still lead it 2-1. bottom 4 brings us a new pitcher for Geneva. It is Joe Scarone out of Westchester University in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Shout out the hometown folks back home. Thanks for tuning in. Scarone out of Broomall, Pennsylvania, making his 7th appearance of the season. Has started 5 games, 1-2, a 4.62 ERA, 23 1/3, 20 strikeouts, 15 walks, 20 hits given up for Scarone. First batter he'll face is Colin Mackel. Bottom 4, 2-1 Stallions. Here's the pitch. Misses down to Mackel. Counts 1-0.
Jake, final line for the starter Cam Holmes went just 3 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, and a strikeout.
Here's the 1-0 to Mackel. That one sits softly towards second. Charging in is Cody. Has it. Throws to first. It's in time. And Scarone gets his first out of the inning. That'll bring Max Morris to the plate, the catcher for the Stallions. And you wonder now, John, if if they're going to try to go to him for a long distance here, because he's a guy who's been stretched out. He started, a handful of games this season for Geneva, so I wonder if he was kind of just plan B and they were going to try to ride him out here.
Yeah, in the playoffs, it's all about finding that winning combination with your pitching staff as Morris watches a strike. And whether that's you have your starter go 3 innings, you try to get someone to go the rest of the way, maybe get another 4 or 5 innings in, or you bring in 5 or 6 pitchers for the game. We'll see how Geneva approaches things.
Here's the 0-1. That's a curveball down the Morris. He was up the count at 1.
There's already some mingling going on. A little bit of action in the Geneva bullpen. Nothing too serious, just tossing some weighted balls around.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's hit high and deep to center field. Hastings backs up at the track, at the wall, bounces at the base of the wall, gets over for a ground rule double for Max Morris, and the Stallions are in business once again here in the bottom of the 4th.
Max Morris showing off that power. Way to break out of a little bit of a slump. Was hitless over his last 3 games, and just 1 hops off the fence. And good to see as well. You'd hope that the play at the plate where Geneva scored, avoiding his tag, wouldn't bother him too much. He'd be able to shake it off and move on. Clearly, after that double, I think that's the case.
Max Morris, that's his first extra base hit so far this season. He had 7 hits before that. All were singles. Nick Iverson now to the plate for the Stallions. 1 down, bottom 4. Stallions looking to tack on to its 2-1 lead. First pitch to Iverson, misses outside for a ball. Makes the count 1-0. They threw behind Morris at second. He dives back in safely head first. And the count remains 1-0. Iverson 0 for 1 so far tonight. Flew out to the right fielder Borelli, his first time up in the second. Morris gets a sizable lead off third. Cody over to hold him on, the second baseman. Checking the runner is Scarone. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's roped center field. It hangs up there. No, gets down for a base hit. They're going to throw to third. It is not in time. Gets away from the third baseman. Good. Morris will come home as the ball goes into the dugout. It's 3-1 Stallions. Iverson moves to second on the play. It's an RBI, probably not an RBI single for him, but the Stallions lead at 3-1 regardless.
Nick Iverson down the stretch has been the X factor for Saugerties. Has produced at the plate, has made tons of plays in the field, and it wasn't an RBI for him because the run came home on what I think will be an error on a throw by the center fielder Hastings. Nonetheless, might be an RBI. We'll see. See how it's scored by yours truly, Jake.
Yeah, should be an error on the center fielder Hastings. Well, that being said, Stallions now lead at 3-1. Jarrett Brown up to the plate now. Runner on second is Iverson. 1 out, bottom 4. Brown 1 for 1 so far. Had a single back in the second. Scarone from the stretch deals. That one hits softly towards third. It'll be touch foul by Good. And it makes the count 0-1.
And Jake, you have the top of the order on deck. This is a great spot to be in. You have Jarrett Brown to the plate who has a hit. Iverson on the bases. A base knuckle should bring him home as well. And you have the top of the order and Josh Stevenson on deck.
A big opportunity here for the Stallions to do some more damage. I already have 1 here in the inning. Would love to get more. Tack on to its already 2-run lead over Geneva. Scarone a deep breath. Sets at the letters, checks back at Iverson, deals a curveball that's upstairs. Evens up the count on 1-1.
And here's where you can create that separation. In the playoffs, every play, every run is magnified even more so. Need to get a little bit more of a cushion.
Scarone set again, checks back at Iverson. Here's the pitch. That one's up and in for a ball, counts 2-1. Jarrett Brown, 155 on the season. As we said, 1 for 1 so far tonight. Up in the count, 2-1 against Joe Scarone, the pitcher from Westchester University. Here's the pitch. That misses down below the knees. Makes the count 3-1. Now to Jarrett Brown.
Brown is a great eye. Tied for the team lead, 18 walks this season. This is unsurprising. He's not someone who's going to go after and chase a pitch on this 3-1. If he likes it, he'll go for it. But if it's out of the zone, he's taking first base with a walk.
Scarone set at the letters, checks back at Iverson from second. Kicks and deals at 3-1. Breaking pitch misses down for a ball. It's the third straight base runner for the Stallions. After Brown works a walk, they got runners on first and second. 1 out for Josh Stevenson. We're going to get a mound visit. We'll see if that brings us a new pitcher.
We did see action in the bullpen. I don't think we're going to see a pitching change just yet. I don't see a point. Nonetheless, that's 3 straight Stallions reaching base. Looked like there was a lefty who was throwing in the bullpen. You figure if they were going to make a pitching change, it would be now with lefty and Josh Stevenson coming up in a crucial spot. This is a chance, again, to create that separation, open things up. 2-run lead, not much. It's at this point enough, but you'd love to get some more on the board.
Josh Stevenson, 1 for 2 so far tonight. He singled back in the second. Flew out the left his first time up to lead off the game for the Stallions in the bottom of the first. He's got 2 on, 1 out. This is the 5th batter to come to the plate for Saugerties here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. In a game that's just about an hour old. Between the Stallions and the RedWIngs, winner moves on to the championship game for the PGCBL crown. Scarone sets at the letters. Checks back at Iverson at second and deals. Stevenson way out in front of an off-speed pitch. Counts 0-1 to him. Brown leads off first. Iverson leads off second. Middle infield set to turn 2. Third baseman good, even with the bag. Outfield playing pretty much straight away. Scarone set at the letters again. Checks back at Iverson a couple of times in the pitch. That one's fouled back off the netting behind home plate. Into the dugout. Tyler Kelder unable to make a catch while sitting on the bench. And then Tommy Gross picks that one up. And it makes the count now 0-2 to Stevenson.
Jake, you don't have your glove with you, right?
I do not.
Okay, I have mine, so if there's one that comes over here, I got us.
0-2 the count to Stevenson. 1 away, 2 on. 3-1 Stallions, bottom 4. Here's the pitch. That one's roped high to center field. Hastings backs up, still backing up at the edge. Makes the catch. Tagging second to third is Obi in there standing up safely. So it's a long Josh Stevenson, but it does move a runner. And it'll bring Jack Renwick up with 2 gone.
Yeah, gave that a ride. Similar to what we saw from Max Morris. Morris hit a little bit more to right center, which prevented Hastings from making the catch. But the Stallions have been hitting the ball very well, whether it was against Holmes, the starter, or now Scarone out of the bullpen, putting barrel on ball and letting it fly.
Jack Renwick, the second baseman, to the plate. 0 for 2 so far tonight. Renwick has driven in 14 runs so far this season. Has Iverson standing on third. That first pitch gets away from the catcher. And getting over to second in time is Brown. And now runners on second and third for the Stallions. So the count's now 1-0 to Jack Renwick. Has 2 out there for him. Here's the pitch. That's on the outside corner for a strike. Counts 1-1.
He's 0 for 2, but they've been 2 balls that were nearly recorded as hits. Almost beat out a throw and at a hard grounder.
Here's the 1-1 from Scarone. That one's hit sharply towards third. Backhanded by Good. Steps and fires across. A low throw. Picked out by the first baseman Griffin nicely. And it beats Renwick by about a step. So Stallions get 1 run on 2 hits, leave 2 on base. We'll head to the 5th. Ponies up 3-1 here for the postseason from Kentine Field. Stallions Baseball brought to you by Efros Orthodontics, the smiler provider for the Stallions. Gristmill Realty, looking to sell? List with Gristmill. Halter Associates Realty, make the right move with Halter. Hell's Mortal Realty and Insurance, the sponsor of insurance runs for the Stallions. iMedView Inc., independent medical review, world-class results, and local connections. IXO Health and Fitness Club, keeping the Stallions fit all season long. J. Mullins and Sons Inc., masonry, excavation, building, and a whole lot more. And Jim Howick Seamless Gutters, protect your home with Jim Howick. Top 5-3-1 Stallions. Tonight's K-man Elliot Good, the 7-hitter, leads things off against Andres Affont. First pitch swinging right back up the middle for a base hit. And it's another first pitch hit for Geneva. Another first pitch hit in this game. And they get a leadoff base runner for Thomas Latham.
Jake, you mentioned earlier, it's really been one or the other for Geneva. Their first pitch swinging, first pitch hits, or long at-bats, 8 to 10 pitches.
Working on Andy Affont tonight. Here's the first pitch. Latham went chasing after a low pitch. Counts 0-1 to him.
It's a great pitch from Affont. Gets something low, just below the zone. Late drop.
Affont sets the letters, checks back at the runner, good at first. Here's the pitch. That one hit off the hand, slicing towards right. Verdusco makes a couple steps in and towards the line and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring Nicholas Searcy, the 8-hole hitter, to the plate.
Yeah, Searcy was the guy yesterday who got the job done. An RBI single earlier today as well, but was 2 for 3, a home run, a double, brought home 3 runs. Despite being at the 9 spot, don't let that fool you. He can really produce for the Red Wings.
Searcy 1 for 1 so far tonight. Singled in his first at-bat, back in the second. Here's the pitch from Affont. Swung on a miss. Makes the count 0-1. Leading off first is Elliot Good. Here's the pitch. That one's hit sharply up the middle. Brown fields it, takes to the bag himself, throws the first. Inning over. A absolutely tailor-made double play by Jarrett Brown, the Kip Fugers, and that retires the side in the 5th. Back-to-back innings, the Stallions get out of it thanks to a double play started by Jarrett Brown. Head to the bottom of the frame. Saugerties looking to tack more on, up 3-1. Bottom 5, 3-4-5 to the plate for the Stallions. Kip Fugers leads things off as Saugerties leads it 3-1 over Geneva. Thanks to a couple of ending double plays back in the 4th and the 5th, they have shut down any potential threat from the Red Wings to work a couple runs back in this ball game.
Yeah, we talked earlier about momentum plays. Double plays, especially inning-ending double plays, are huge momentum plays.
Scarone back out for another inning of work. Works from the windup. First pitch to Fugers, misses upstairs for a ball. Makes the count 1-0 to him.
We were excited in the 3rd inning to see the Stallions have 3-4-5 due up. That trio went down 1-2-3, looking to improve off of that.
And one of the Fugers went fishing on a low pitch. Evens up the count at 1 apiece. Fugers is 1 for 2 so far tonight. Singled and scored a run back in the first. Grounded out to third. Back in the third. Here's the 1-1. That one's hit sharply towards third. Diving stop by the third baseman. Good. Fires across in time. And Fuger's robbed of a hit. And I guess what you could say is a pretty good play by Good.
Jake, I knew you were going to go there eventually, but he's made a couple of great plays tonight between that diving stop and then his avoidance of the tag at home plate to score Geneva's only run. He's been a key piece of Geneva's abilities to hang in this game.
Now, if Geneva's going to stay in this game, they're going to need plays like that in the field. Cade Verdusco to the plate now. He has walked both times up. First pitch to him, as appropriate, misses outside for a ball, makes the count 1-0.
Yeah, and you take that. You need base runners. I know he's in that cleanup spot. They're expected to drive home the runs, but they're going to give him walks. He'll take it.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to Verdusco. Way out in front of that off-speed pitch. Evens up the count at 1 apiece. Verdusco is the Stallions' leading hitter at .383 on the season. 19 runs scored, only 3 runs driven in. As he bats cleanup tonight, here's the 1-1. That one's fouled off the hands, back behind home plate. Makes the count 1-2 to Verdusco. So after walking his first 2 times up, Verdusco in danger of striking out here. From the windup, Scarone deals. Curveball misses outside. Evens up the count at 2 apiece now to Verdusco. 24 pitches so far in relief for Scarone. No action so far in the Geneva bullpen. Here's a 2-2. That one's down low for a ball, and Verdusco has worked himself all the way back in this count, makes it full.
Yeah, just working the pitch count of Scarone as well. Ready, the second pitcher we've seen from Geneva. They played yesterday, too. See how many options they have out of the bullpen tonight.
Full count, 1 out. Here's the payoff pitch to Verdusco. Down low, ball 4, and Verdusco has walked for the 3rd straight at-bat. All 3 times he's come to the plate tonight. He has recorded a base on balls. Now it brings Andrew Wilhite to the plate. 1 down, bottom 5. Stallions lead 3-1. Wilhite 1 for 2 tonight. Had an RBI double back in the first. Struck out swinging back in the 3rd. Up here with 1 out in the 5th. Runner on first is Verdusco, who just drew a walk. Scarone sets at the letters, and he'll kick and deal. That one misses just inside the Wilhite. Makes the count 1-0 to him. Wilhite 268 on the season, 1 home run, 14 runs driven in. Here's the 1-0. That's an off-speed pitch that gets the outside corner, called for a strike. Evens up the count at 1 apiece to Wilhite.
And despite being struck out in the 3rd, that's some really good contact. Hit one that would have been a home run if it was about 15 feet to the left. Had a line drive down their first base side, foul as well.
1-1 the count, here's the pitch. That one's hit high towards right field. Borelli backing up. That ball's over the scoreboard. Andrew Wilhite, stay hot, fella. The ponies are rolling. It's 5-1 Stallions in the bottom of the 5th.
Every at-bat he's come up, he has had amazing contact. And that time he gets the job done. 2 more RBI for Wilhite. Now 4 for the night. Unbelievable performance.
It's a 2-run blast over the scoreboard in right field. The 2nd long ball of the season for the outfielder out of Minnesota. And my oh my, is Andrew Wilhite seeing the ball well tonight. And now Colin Mackel comes to the plate. First pitch to him, down and in for a ball. Counts 1-0. Here's the pitch to Mackel. That one's popped straight up. Foul territory. Good, the third baseman races over. Has a play. Makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. And that'll bring Max Morris to the plate. Max Morris 1 for 2 so far doubled and scored a run back in the fourth, rounded out the short, Slinger back in the second. So bottom five, Stallions lead at 5-1. 2 more runs in the inning thanks to a home run by Andrew Wilhite. First pitch to Morris, a curveball, misses upstairs for a ball, makes the count 1-0. Scarone has already surrendered 3 runs tonight. The pitch to Morris, in there for a called strike, counts 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Way behind that fastball was Morris. Now 1-2 the count. One, two outs, bottom 5. Stallions lead it by 4. Here's the pitch to Morris. Curveball roped right center field. Borelli races over, he'll have a beat on it, and will make the catch, and that will retire the side. 2 runs for the Stallions, thanks to a long home run by Andrew Wilhite. 5-1 Saugerties leads. Right to the 6 here on the Saugerties Stallions Broadcast Network. Stallions baseball brought to you by the Jolly Cow. The Jolly Cow in Lake Katrine, because everybody loves ice cream. Lyman Institute of the Northeast, climb to a successful career. Main Street Restaurant, go to the best Mexican restaurant in the Hudson Valley. Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, the strikeout sponsor for the Stallions. And Mirabella's Restaurant, perfect for friends and family tonight and every night. Top 6, Andre Safont back out to work. Stallions lead at 5-1. Added 2 more in the bottom of the 5th, thanks to a long 2-run home run by Wilhite, as that one's hit sharply towards first. Fugers fields it on the back end, hits off his glove. Renwick races over, makes a play, and gets it to the pitcher, Afon. What a play. 3-4-1 on the putout for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring Brady Slinger to the plate, as that was Carson Hastings that got the first out. Brady Slinger 0 for 2 so far tonight. Geneva beginning to get late in this game. First pitch from Afon, dropping a bunt to Slinger. Afon fields it, bobbles it for a second. The throw gets away from Fugers. It's off the fence. So it's going to be a bunt single by Slinger. A really tough play by Afon. And I mean, if you're looking to get some momentum back, that could be a way to start it. Not a bad idea there from Slinger.
Yeah, at this point, they're down by 4 runs. Needed to get a base runner. They need to get something going. It could have been a whole lot worse, though, for the Stallions, too. Afont lucky that he kept it a little lower. It stayed in play. Good backup. I believe that was Renwick who raced over to the ball to keep the speedy Slinger at first.
Nick Forney to the plate now. Go back over to first, not in time.
And Slinger, one of those guys who's a threat in the base path. Has 11 stolen bases this year, as does Forney at the plate. So both guys, something to look out for.
Another one thrown over. That shows the importance of that nice play there by Renwick, because if Hastings gets on, and even if Slinger lays a bunt down, if that same result happens, you probably have runners on first and third, nothing away. Afont set, throws back over to first, hits off the glove of Fugers, starting to go to second and then stopping with Slinger. Realized that ball didn't get far enough away from Kip Fugers. Count remains 0-0 to Forney as Afon has yet to throw a pitch to him.
Yeah, I think at this point you're up by 4 runs. Just focus on the batter. You have an out. Back-to-back, you have a couple innings end and double plays. Trust your field behind you.
Font set at the letters and deals. Swinging and missing. And a nice sinker from Afon. As Forney makes the count 0-1 to him.
That's it. And we've seen all year long, Max Morris has caught guys in the base paths. A really good catcher. This is a high-quality middle of the infield that they can make plays.
Here's the 0-1. Hits him. Square in the letters. So back-to-back base runners given up by Afon. Neither had a ball leave the infield. And Rich Drewby will make a trip out to the mound, presumably just to calm Afon down. There is action down in the Stallions bullpen. Looks like Michael Stanford just mulling around over there.
And Rich Drewby gave him the point.
So that's going to be it for Afon. Rich Drewby, even with a 4-run lead, not having that long of a lead from Afon. So Afon comes out. It's Jarek Woodward coming in. 5 1/3 of 1-run ball for Afon tonight. Now it's turned over to the bullpen. We'll see if the bullpen can hold things down. Be right back here on the Stallions Broadcast Network. The first Dallas Hot Wieners called to the bullpen tonight for the Stallions brings us Jarek Woodward. Back in the regular season, made 12 appearances, all out of the bullpen. Pitched to a 3.60 ERA, 3 saves, 20 innings pitched, 18 strikeouts, only 4 walks, 19 hits given up. First batter he'll face is Ben Griffin. Griffin 1 for 2 so far tonight. He inherits 2 base runners from Afon, who pitched 5 1/3, gave up 5 hits and struck out 1. Stallions lead it 5-1. Woodward sets and deals. A curveball to Griffin, misses upstairs for a ball, counts 1-0.
And can't completely close Afon's line, but when 5 1/3 gave up 5 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout. We'll see what the final run total is. As of now, it's 1, but both base runners, of course, are on his line.
Woodward, a long look into the catcher Morris, calling time now as Griffin will step out, the count remaining 1-0. Woodward, the tall righty out of Grand Canyon, toes the first base side of the rubber. Checks back at the runner on second and Slinger. Here's the 1-0. Another curveball that misses up and in. Counts now 2-0. Last thing you want to do if you're Woodward here, John, is lose the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, you have to attack. You come into a spot, it's not like you're up by a run. You're up by 4 runs. Your job is just to get an out here. That's it. Attack the zone.
Woodward, a deep breath, sets the letters. Here's the 2-0. That one's fouled back. A big strike number 1 by Griffin, and it counts 2-1.
And it should come at no surprise that Griffin's going after that pitch. He's the 3 hitter for a reason, leads the team in batting average. Figured he was going to get a fastball in the zone, went after it. But look, Woodward gets that first strike, and sometimes that's just the monkey off the shoulders you need to get going as a pitcher.
8:30 here in Saugerties. Cooling down, 66 degrees under clear skies. A 2-1, a hanging curveball drops into center field, a base hit. Rounding third is Slinger. Stevenson up with it. He'll go to third. It is not in time. It's an RBI single for Ben Griffin. Slinger scores. Forney moves to third. And just like that, Geneva inching back into this game.
Well, playoff baseball, it's rare to see blowouts. Games are going to be competitive. You have to earn it. Stallions got off to a great start, but you figured at some point Geneva was going to rally back, going to fight back and put some more runs on the board. And they've gotten one so far, and now with the cleanup batter in Borelli, a chance to get a couple more.
Mike Borelli to the plate, the score 5-2. Runners on second and third, 1 out, top 6. The first pitch from Woodward goes back to the fastball. It's in there for a called strike. Makes the count 0-1.
And that's the key. You have to get strikes early. You can't fall behind 2-0 like we saw Woodward just do, because then the batter knows you're forcing strikes.
0-1, 1 out. The runner that scored belonged to Affont. Forney on third also belongs to Affont. Griffin on second is Woodward's responsibility now. Infield shaded a bit over towards the left side. Woodward a deep breath, sets at the letters, the 0-1. Fastball in the outside corner, 0-2 the count now.
That's it. Working the outside black.
Nothing in 2. A big spot here for Jarek Woodward. Looking to hold a 3-run lead for the Stallions. Still only 1 away here in the inning. Woodward set at the letters and deals. Got him swinging. Stuck with the fastball there. Swinging and missing is Borelli. It's the first Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strikeout for Jarek Woodward. Only the second of the game for the Stallions. Now it brings Jackson Dejean to the plate for Geneva in a big spot.
If there's ever a time for a strikeout, it's right there, because you have the sacrifice in play with just 1 out, 2 guys in scoring position, a ground out, a fly out to the outfield. That probably brings home a run. Now just 1 out gets you out of this jam.
Dejean at the plate, first pitch from Woodward. That one's rolled over towards short. Brown has it running up, fields it, throws across, it's in time, and that will retire the side. Geneva gets 1 on 2 hits. They leave a couple on base. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Stallions lead it 5-2. Stallions baseball brought to you by Montano's Shoe Store. The best athletes wear the best from Montano's. Nacarado Insurance, over 50 years, 50 carriers. They've got you covered. PC Smith & Sons Hardware. Smith Hardware on Main Street got a project they can help. Peak Trading, need it lifted up or tied down. Peak Trading has the supplies. Pretorius and Conrad, Simone Environmental Engineering and Land Surveying. Richards Electric, the lights turning on sponsor for the Stallions. The lights are on here at Canty Field, but when the lights go out, call Richards. Rip Van Winkle Country Club, bring your swing, whether it's good or bad, to the Rip. And Rips Auto Parts, the pitcher catcher battery sponsor. Rips, your hometown auto parts store.
Jake, that might have been the highlights of our ad reads all year. We go through those ads every day, and of course, we're so grateful to all of our phenomenal sponsors. You all make Stallions baseball possible. But that was awesome, Jake.
I mean, I was at the Rip yesterday, and the swing was not that good. So now we got bottom 6, Stallions lead 5-2, 8-9-1 due up. Nick Iverson at the plate. We're back up against Joe Scarone, who we just learned some more information about him. He's a graduate of Marple Newtown High School in just outside Broomall, Pennsylvania. So shout out to the Tigers.
I don't know if you maybe got a little insight from a friend of a mutual friend of ours.
Possibly. Here's the first pitch to Nick Iverson. Rolls that one towards third. Up was the third baseman. Good. Fires across. It's in time. One pitch went out to Iverson for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring it. Jared Brown to the plate here in the bottom of the 6th.
And Brown is 1 for 1 tonight, but he's reached base in both at-bats. And so you love to see from a 9-hitter. Again, only 9 guys tonight in the lineup. Rich Doobie going with the traditional 9 instead of the 10, which is what he's been doing for much of this season. When the 9-hitter can reach, it's called double lead off for a reason. It sets up the top of the order very well and gives you a good opportunity to bring home a run.
Here's the first pitch to Brown. That one's fouled back. Counts 0-1. Brown, a couple of good plate appearances, tonight. Singled in the 2nd, walked in the 4th. So he's reached base both times so far tonight. After struggling this season with a tune of a 155 average. Over 20 games played. Scarone set at the letters, works from the windup, sidesteps and deals the 0-1. That one on the outside corner for a called strike, counts 0-2.
Come on, we just got you water.
Here's the 0-2. Curveball, hit sharply to short. Slinger has it, up with it. A high throw, caught by the first baseman Griffin, who comes back down and gets his foot on the bag for the second out of the inning. An excellent play. Another really good play by Griffin at first. He's gone down to get some picks, and he's gone up to get some high throws. That brings Josh Stevenson up with 2 gone here in the 6th.
Jake, I thought that ball was going to make its way to the first base side bleachers when it came out of the hand of Slinger. But, man, Ben Griffin has some hops at first base. That would have probably been an extra base for Jared Brown if he wasn't able to hold that in.
Stevenson to the plate now, 1 for 3 so far tonight. Already the 4th time coming through the lineup now for the Stallions, with Stevenson at the plate for the 4th time. First pitch from Scarone's a curveball, misses upstairs for a ball, counts 1-0.
And through the first 3 times through, this is a lineup that's found success. 7 hits, 5 runs, and you get the sense they're not done yet.
We'd love to tack on some more Hell's Mortal Realty Insurance runs. The 1-0 to Stevenson, fouled back. Off the netting again. The count's 1-1, right at our level.
Yeah, and for the Geneva fans tuned in, our press box is on the third base side. So anytime that a lefty comes up to the plate, there's always a chance a ball can come our way.
1-1 the count to Stevenson, 2 gone. Here's the pitch. That one's roped right field. Will drop in for a base hit. Second hit tonight for Stevenson. It's a 2-out single for him, and it'll bring Jack Renwick to the plate for the Stallions.
Keep these innings going. Another inning where the Stallions have had a 2-out base hit. Did it in the first inning, did it again in the 2nd. And that's key. I mean, we see it all the time from Amsterdam, Jake, right? And those are the most demoralizing hits they give up, the most demoralizing runs they give up. When there are 2 outs and a batter, 2 strikes and a batter, and they're able to reach base. This is an opportunity for the Stallions to put on some more runs, and again, to do it with 2 outs.
Jack Renwick, who has one of the best walk-up songs for any Stallions. Hips Don't Lie. At the plate with 2 gone. Stevenson leads off first. Scarone works from the stretch, set at the letters. First pitch outside for a ball. Counts now 1-0 to Renwick, who's 0 for 3 tonight, 3 ground outs.
Say Jackson Dejean's been very impressive behind home plate. Has brought in a couple pitches that might have gotten away from some other catchers in this league. Made some good throws in the base paths as well.
Renwick, the speedy second baseman. Here's the 1-0. That's up for a ball. Stevenson they almost drew behind him, and he stumbled heading back in the first. So good thing they didn't. The count's now 2-0 to Renwick.
We've seen Dejean make that snap throw to first a couple times tonight, keeping guys honest in the bases.
The Stallions have not swiped any bags tonight. Almost uncharacteristic for this Saugerties team. 2-0 the count. Here's the pitch. On the outside corner for a called strike for Scarone. Makes the count 2-1.
Yeah, they're 0 for 1, and it was, of course, Verdusco who kind of gave himself up on his way to second. I think he would have been safe if he kept running, but he thought ball 4 was called. That was the only stolen base attempt tonight for the Stallions.
The breeze picking up here at Cantine Field. The 2-1 pitch down below the knees. Caught a ball by the home plate umpire, Ray Bryant. 3-1 now to Renwick, excuse me.
I greatly appreciate the fact that Ray Bryant yells out ball. Sometimes you can't always tell. Sometimes they're not very demonstrative. He makes it very clear.
As a broadcaster, one of my favorite things is when an umpire is very demonstrative with balls and strikes called. 3-1 pitch is fouled back on the right side over the Geneva dugout. Runs the count. Full now 2 outs, so Stevenson will be off at first.
I enjoy that. I also liked, we had an umpire earlier in the year, can't remember the gentleman's name, but he would indicate with his hand where the pitch missed, which was helpful for us. We can see kind of up and down, can't really see left and right, so it made our job a lot easier.
3-2 the count, 2 outs, bottom 6. Stallions lead 5-2. Renwick at the plate, Stevenson on first. He goes on the pitch. Here it is, fouled back. Count remains full. Another quality at-bat tonight for the Stallions. This next pitch will be the 7th that Renwick sees in the at-bat. Stevenson retreats back to first. He'll once again be off on the pitch. Renwick, the righty, chokes up on the bat. Scarone set deals the pitch. That one's roped right field. Racing back is Borelli, who has a read on it and makes the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs on a hit. 1 runner left on base for the Stallions. 2/3 of the way home. Stallions 9 outs away from the championship game. 5-2 they lead. Be right back.
Top of the 7th, Jake, getting to crunch time. It is 5-2 Stallions, a spot in the PGCBL championship round. On the line, Jarek Woodward enters his first full inning of work after going 2/3 of an inning in the top of the 6th. And Dalton Cody is the first batter he faces, who watches a strike.
9 outs to work with for the Stallions. 9 outs stands between you and an appearance in the PGCBL championship game.
Cody's 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs. His most recent ground out was an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. We've seen the Stallions in 2 innings tonight on ground ball double plays.
And that's been big. It's been a good way. That's why they're up 5-2, because they've kept those base runners off the board. Heads up.
That was coming our way. Did not have my glove on at that point, but I have mine on now, so we're good, Jake.
Winner of this game will take on the winner of the Amsterdam-Auburn game. Currently bottom 7 out of Shuttleworth Park. Amsterdam leads 6-1 over the Doubledays.
Woodward misses upstairs. John Gross, Jake Starr. So happy to have all of you with us on the Saugerties Stallions broadcast network. Based on what we've seen so far, the largest viewership numbers all season as Jarek Woodward gets us started with the Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strikeout, and the Stallions now just 8 outs away from a spot in the championship.
You can start to feel the anticipation picking up here, but long way to go. Now you're still going to have to go through the top of the lineup again, top of the lineup that has done some damage so far tonight for them. So he's got to just keep getting those outs.
So Cody struck out swinging, brings up tonight's K-Man, who has reached base twice. It's Elliott Good as a single and a walk. And lines it foul. Stallions got on the board early. 2 runs in the bottom of the first, but then Elliott Good came home to score in the top of the second. The Stallions put up 1 more in the 4th, a pair in the 5th, and the RedWIngs just scored 1 in the 6th. And Woodward, back-to-back at-bats, working ahead 0-2.
Ever since, he gave up that single to Griffin, he's looked really good. Struck out Borelli, got Dejean the ground out. If he gets into a rhythm here, it's game over for Geneva. Nothing wrong with that miss. He went upstairs with a fastball. See if he follows it up now with a curveball.
As you can hear, a playoff atmosphere at Canty Fields. Ring him up. The K-Man delivers.
Shout out Michael Gross, getting the K-Man tonight. And the energy is starting to pick up here at Canty Field, John. You can really feel it.
Jarek Woodward, back-to-back strikeouts. And at least for the Stallions fans who are of drinking age, none bigger than that on Elliott Good. 2 quick outs brings up Thomas Latham, who was 0 for 2, a ground out to third and a fly out to right.
Morris reached for that. He definitely reached out for that one. Probably not a strike. Good call by Ray Bryant, but wanted it though. When a pitcher's cruising, you want those calls.
Fouls it away. Geneva came away with an upset win last night, 4-3 in Jamestown. We touched on this before. Their travel schedule over the last 24 hours or so has been crazy. 3 hours-ish to Jamestown, same back, and then about, 3 or so hours here
about
to
3.5
earlier
from
today.
Geneva to here.
And that's one of the benefits of the Stallions getting this first round bye. They're guaranteed this home game in the semifinals and don't have to make a trip across the state. And Woodward now just a strike away from King up the side.
And if all results hold as they are right now, and it's Saugerties and Amsterdam in the championship game series starting tomorrow night, neither team's gonna have to travel more than 1 hour and 15 minutes each way.
Did he go? The appeal over to first, no. It's Mark Irish, the first base umpire, a 3-man umpiring crew. It is something exclusive to the playoffs. It's Ray Bryant behind home plate, Tom Nager at third, and Mark Irish at first. Full count from Woodward. Jarek Woodward, filthy. He K's up the side, and we head to the 7th inning stretch. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. Bottom 7 after this. 5-2 Stallions. This is Saugerties Stallions baseball on the Stallions Broadcast Network. bottom 7 of the PGCBL semifinals, a spot in the PGCBL Championship Series at stake. And the Stallions lead 5-2, a home game for the Stallions. Saugerties Stallions baseball is brought to you by Rips Auto Parts, the Stallions pitcher-catcher battery sponsor. Rips, your hometown auto parts store. Saugerties Athletic Association, where having fun is what matters. Sawyer Chevrolet and Sawyer Motors. Stella Artois, distributed by Duchess Beer Distributors. Grab an ice cold Stella at the Stallions Watering Trough. Steyr, celebrating over 50 years of keeping you on the road. And Sun Common, a solar company with a purpose beyond profit. A pitching change for the visitors. It's the DH, Nicholas Search takes the mound. His 8th appearance, Jake, he has put down remarkable numbers this season.
Well, if you're Geneva, you need a guy to hold these Stallions bats so you can hopefully have a chance back in this game if you're them. It's him, 2-0, a .68 ERA. This is his 8th appearance, has started a couple of games, 26 and a third. Now here's going to be the mind-blowing number, 46 strikeouts, 9 walks. 46 strikeouts and 26 and a third.
Well, he'll face the top bat in the Stallions lineup in Kip Fugers, his 3rd time leading off an inning. He's 0 for 2 in those 2 at-bats, but 1 for 3 for the game with a single in the first. And the Stallions did score 2 runs in the 5th inning, with 3, 4, 5 due up to start the frame. It's Verdusco on deck, followed by the hot bat of Andrew Wilhite. It's been Wilhite's night, Jake.
It's been Wilhite's night indeed. That home run, I mean, that could prove to be the difference in this game.
And Fugers behind 1 and 2. Well, nice crowd on hand tonight as expected. The first ever home playoff game in Saugerties Stallions history. Saugerties looking for its first ever playoff victory. 0-2 all time. Both losses came at Amsterdam. Stallions team who clinched the 2 seed, 27-12 of the regular season. 2nd most runs per game, 4th in batting average. As Fugers is retired for the first out.
There you see the extra speed here from Searce. And I got Verdusco coming to the plate.
Brings up Kate Verdusco, who has 3 walks tonight. And if the trend indicates anything, well, we might expect another one, and that's one way to start it off. A walk shy of a term coined by former Stallions broadcaster David Hadar, the Golden Pantalones.
Speaking of David Hadar, working up at the Falmouth in the Cape Cod Baseball League. They suffered a hard 16-6 loss to Cotuit tonight, so hope David's doing well. Cotuit and Falmouth jostling for that for a final spot in their postseason.
Yeah, summer ball, nothing like it, especially as you get down the stretch. Exciting game tonight, 5-2 Saugerties in the bottom of the 7th. One thing we were marveling at before the game, a lot of experience in terms of college experience on this Geneva squad. A lot of guys who are upperclassmen at their respective schools. As Verdusco lofts the 2-2 offering to second, Cody has the 2 outs.
Nice job there by Cody to make that play, but a nice job by Searce. You know, going fastball, 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 get something in on the hands, gets Verdusco to pop it back up. This is the guy you need on the mound if you're going to prevent the Stallions from getting any more Hell's Mortal Realty insurance runs. And then you got 6 outs to work with, you know, coming back towards the top of the lineup if you're Geneva. So it's now or never for them, but you got the hottest hitter in the world right now, and Andrew Wilhite at the plate.
Wilhite halfway to the cycle, and he's done the 2 hardest ones, a triple and a home run. Netted a combined 4 runs. It's his 3rd game since July 21st. Was out of town for a couple days. Has now recorded a hit in 3 straight since getting back into Saugerties.
Well, glad to have him back.
Absolutely. Caden Kendall is currently in the on-deck circle. Colin Mackel, the DH, slated to hit next, but with a lefty on the mound, looks like Rich Doobie might be calling upon his bench for the first time tonight.
Didn't see it a ton this season, you know. Whoever the 10 were that Rich Doobie ran out there, those were his 10, barring any injuries. Maybe a late game switch, but you know, late in this game, gonna go matchups here if you're Rich Doobie. And Caden Kendall, first guy off the bench.
And Wilhite up 3-1. Do you feel that extra few years of college experience could be beneficial to Geneva in a game like this?
I think so. I think this is where those final 6 outs, they're going to have to dig deep and rely on that experience, as Wilhite thought that was ball 4.
So Wilhite stays at the plate. Of course, guys on both teams have played in big games. The Stallions have multiple players who were in the NCAA regionals this past year. Played in big spots for their respective college homes. And this inning continues.
Great at-bat by Andrew Wilhite. Continues an already great night for him. And now, as you said, we got Caden Kendall pinch hitting for Mackel.
Caden Kendall, the 191 hitter. Mackel was 0 for 3. And Rich Doobie going to his bench for the first time tonight. Kendall hitless in 5 of his last 6, but the one game he did have hits in, it was one of the best offensive performances of the season by a Stallion. 3 for 3, 3 RBI, had a double, also scored 3 runs, and had a pair of stolen bases.
Earned himself some recognition from the league, too, after that game at Glens Falls.
Wilhite took a pretty marginal lead on the first offering from the lefty, Searce. What a throw. A snap throw gets Wilhite. Unbelievable toss from Jackson Dejean, who's been doing that all night and is successful for the first time. And Andrew Wilhite not happy at first base. That wraps up the 7th. Second base running mistake tonight by Saugerties. And we head to the top of the 8th. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. 5-2 Stallions on the Saugerties Stallions Broadcast Network. For the second time tonight, Rich Doobie making a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen. Michael Stanford, the experienced righty out of UC Irvine, takes the mound, his 5th outing of the season. Stallions Baseball brought to you by the Computer Guys. Don't get robbed by the other guys. Call the Computer Guys. The Emerson Resort. Treat yourself to a getaway at the Emerson. Ulster Federal Credit Union. Get rewarded with Ulster Federal Credit Union. And Ulster Savings, celebrating 170 years with 170 acts of kindness. So day's done for Jarek Woodward. Michael Stanford making his 5th appearance of the season. Last time out a couple weeks ago at Amsterdam, 4 shutout innings of work with 4 strikeouts, and he starts off with a strike on the pitcher, Nicholas Surs, who is 1 for 2 tonight.
Barring any big innings by Geneva, have to assume that Stanford is going to get the last 2. Except there is a little bit of action in the Stallions bullpen. Looks like Richie Simprick's warming up. He's just throwing right now, so not sure if that's just to stay loose or if he's going to be the next guy in. We'll have to see.
And Stanford quickly ahead 1-2. Surs had an RBI single in the 2nd, which brought home Elliott Good, and then grounded into a 6-3 double play to wrap up the 5th. Stallions 6 outs away from a trip to the championship.
That's a good pitch by Stanford. Great discipline by Surs to hold off on that. And this is the first time that in any of the games this summer that a pitcher is batting.
Might be. Gets away from Morris. He's going to make the toss. 5 outs away. And that's 4 straight strikeouts by the Stallions pitching staff.
5 outs for a chance at the championship game. It's got to stay level-headed here.
Carson Hastings is 0 for 2. He's the 10 hitter. 5-2 Saugerties. Their first ever home playoff game. Jake is just about 2 hours, less than 2 hours into this game. It's already the 8th.
Just thinking how fast this game is going. And a lot of that credit just goes to, Andre Safana, fast worker. And the Stallions pitching staff has done a really good job tonight of just dealing. I mean, even the Stallions, they're big innings. They haven't been long innings. Not, 4 or 5, maybe 6 at-bats per inning.
Couple balls from Stanford. And there's a strike.
Ray Bryant says he went as Hastings couldn't hold back.
Going back to Font and making games quick, we always joke there was Mike Hargrove, who was known as the human rain delay. Andre Safant is whatever the opposite of a rain delay is. How fast he
Supersonic.
pitches. Supersonic speed of the mound, yep. I think we timed it at Mohawk Valley. It was about, 5 seconds or so once he got the ball back from the catcher and he was ready to pitch.
He knows what he wants.
Full count. And for the first time tonight, Hastings is on base. A full count walk issued by Michael Stanford.
Wouldn't be a bad time for another double play here.
Well, we've seen it end 2 innings. This would be a tough one to get, though. A speedster at the plate, the lefty Brady Slinger, is 1 for 3. Laid down a bunt single in his last at-bat. Gets a good piece of this out to right center. Verdusco under it. And Stevenson and Verdusco nearly were side by side. Still catch made, and got a little nervous there, Jake.
That's why you talk
Ooh.
out there, John.
2 outs, and the Stallions 4 outs away from the championship. Nick Fournay digs in, reach base for his first time back in the 6th after he was hit in the back by a pitch. It's the final batter that Avant faced. Line shot to center, Stevenson in, and we are headed to the bottom of the 8th. A diving snag by the future LSU Tiger. No runs, no hits, and 1 left on base. Bottom 8 after this, 5-2 Stallions. One final chance for some Hell's Mortal insurance runs on the Saugerties Stallions Broadcast Network. Well, we start off the bottom of the 8th exactly where we ended the bottom of the 7th with Caden Kendall at the plate. His first official at-bat of the game. Inning ended, bottom of the 7th ended with Andrew Wilhite being caught taking a little too sizable of a lead at first. Kendall in as a pinch hitter for the DH Colin Mackel. First offering from Circe is away for a ball. A historic night in Saugerties. Regardless of the result, this is the first ever home playoff game in Stallions history. Seven, 8, 9 due up, Jake. Pardon me, 6, 7, 8 due up. Kendall, Morris, and Iverson. Potentially a final chance for the Stallions to tack on some runs. Max Morris on deck, Nick Iverson in the hole. And Kendall starts off the inning with a walk.
Well, when he gets in those Hell's Mutual Realty Insurance runs, the leadoff base runner is a good way to start that. And I got 7, 8, 9 coming to the plate with Morris up.
Jake, would you believe me if I told you the first inning the Stallions have started with a base runner tonight?
Which is crazy.
5 runs. Without, and you look, a couple of these runs have come with 2 outs. Just late production innings. Good to see. Now Kendall on first. He's a speedster. Wouldn't be shocked to see him be moving. The Stallions have been caught twice on the base pass tonight. And nearly a third time. Jake Jackson Dejean might be the best catcher we've seen all season, at least defensively.
Wow, they almost, I thought they had him. We'll see if they have Morris bunt again here, because that is an important run out there, so you can get him over, especially at the bottom of the lineup up. I think it wouldn't be the worst of ideas.
He does show bunt. This time lays it down. Kendall's into second. And Max Morris gets the job done, advancing Kendall into scoring position.
Great bump by Morris. Gets Kendall over the second, and now a hit can score him.
And Nick Iverson, now we've talked about it, he has really picked things up as of late. Teams who make championship runs, playoff runs, get deep into the postseason. It comes down to players like the Iversons of the world, like the Renwick, stepping up at the right time. And Jake, this is a prime chance to do that.
We talked about the bottom of this order is going to have to step up. The Stallions not just want to win tonight, but win beyond tonight.
And around the league, the other semifinal matchup, Amsterdam leads Auburn 7-1. Iverson a little behind in the first offering. He is 1 for 3 tonight. Had a single in the 4th. A run ended up coming home, but it wasn't an RBI as the run scored on an overthrow by the center fielder Carson Hastings.
Good take by Iverson. That was a pretty good pitch by Circe. That almost bumped its way back into the inside part of the strike zone, but called by the home plate umpire Ray Bryant.
And Iverson takes ball 2. Jared Brown on deck. Caden Kendall on second.
No action, the Stallions bullpen now. We saw Richie Simprick warm up. So we have to assume the 9th is going to belong to Michael Stanford.
The 2-2 from Circe. guess it's expected since it is the playoffs, but we've probably seen more full counts, more competitive at-bats tonight than in any game all season.
Yeah, guys are dialing in. They're battling tonight. This is Iverson's second full count at-bat tonight.
Massive full count offering with an insurance run in scoring position. And Iverson will stay alive.
It was an 8-pitch at-bat back in the second for Iverson. This will be pitch number 7 right here from Surse to Iverson.
You can feel it in the air. Nervous energy.
All right, Phil Collins.
A spot of the PGCBL championship on the line. And Iverson is set down looking. What a pitch from Nick Surse for the second out of this inning. That brings up Jarrett Brown.
I think Iverson knew it, gave up on it out of the hand, and then it broke right back down. A great pitch by Surse, and now Jarrett Brown looking for a big 2-out hit to make this a 4-run game.
Brown's had a quality night at the plate. He's reached in 2 of his 3 plate appearances. He's 1 for 2 at a single and also walked to the 4th. Kendall remains on second. Three, 4, 5 due up for Geneva in the top of the last. That's the spot to be if you're the Red Wings. It's Griffin, Borelli, and Dejean due up in the top of the 9th. There's a strike. Surse ahead 1 and 2. You'd love an insurance run. But a great crowd. The PGCBL semifinals. Jake does not look like anybody warming up, so you figure Michael Stanford's headed back out there?
Figure. Stanford was warming up, so have to assume he would be the next guy in. If Stanford gets in trouble in the 9th, which hopefully isn't the case.
Great hold by Jarrett Brown, and once again, a full count.
Back-to-back full counts. Worked by Stallions hitters.
Iverson went down looking at a breaking ball. Now it's Jarrett Brown's turn to crack the code of Nicholas Surse. Has yet to allow a hit. But has now issued 3 walks as the team leader in free bases. Heads off to first, and once again, top of the order set up with a couple base runners.
Here's Josh Stevenson, a big chance here. You know, single should score 1. If you can find a gap, could score 2. Big insurance runs here. You know what they say, you know, 4 runs, the most that 1 swing of the bat can get you here. So 1 more would be huge, 2 more would be game-changing.
Well, it's Stevenson, who is a guy you'd love to have up in this situation. 2 for 4 tonight. Now hitting over 300 in the season. Kid just finished his high school career. Already a star in the PGCBL.
Great curveball there from Surse. Started that, looked like it was up and in. The Stevenson gave up on it and just dropped right in.
Especially against a lefty. That breaking ball from a lefty pitcher can always be tough to read.
Went back to it. Filthy pitch from Surse.
An inning and 2/3, the Stallions have yet to record a hit against Surse. Looking to change that with Josh Stevenson. Stevenson, big fly, right field. See you later. the Bayou Kid. A 3-run blast.
Josh Stevenson. Stevenson Josh. Whatever you want to call him. A big shot. And that might be the one. That might be the moment for a Stallions team that has so long awaited for a moment like this. Still 3 outs away. But the other end, the end of the tunnel, is a lot clearer now than it's ever been before.
As a wise man once said, go Tigers.
Thanks,
Josh
Coach.
Stevenson gets the job done in a big way. 8-2 Saugerties on the 3-run blast by the future LSU Tiger. Oh man, Jack Renwick looked to follow that act up.
I don't know how you follow that up.
I don't think you can. Oh man.
Josh Stevenson, another guy, came in here, just graduated high school, looked really overmatched early in the season, and he's really come into his own as of late, featured by that home run.
Renwick go for 4 tonight. The first hit for the Stallions off of Nicholas Sears is the potential nail in the coffin.
And the 3rd hit of the day for Stevenson. He's 3 for 5 with a couple of hard hit fly balls too. He's seeing the ball well. They got Renwick, who has yet to record a hit tonight, the only Stallion yet to reach base.
Renwick shoots it in the air to right. And we are headed to the last. Catch made by Dalton Coney. And the Saugerties Stallions are 3 outs away from a championship game appearance. Josh Stevenson, a 3-run home run, makes the score 8-2, and we are off to the night. This is the PGCBL semifinals on the Saugerties Stallions Broadcast Network. This is it, folks. The Saugerties Stallions are 3 outs from the PGCBL championship game. A final from Amsterdam, 7-1. The Mohawks victorious over the Auburn Double Days. A collision course of the top 2 teams in the East Division. And Michael Stanford starts off this inning with a strike to Ben Griffin. And Jake, what a difference those 3 runs make entering this last.
You're breathing a lot easier now.
Grounder to Brown. And he makes the play. It's been a vacuum all night at shortstop. 2 outs away from victory.
There's one. There's one.
Mike Borelli is 1 for 3 tonight. This is a Geneva team entered today at a 4-game winning streak after knocking off 3-seeded Jamestown yesterday.
A little bit extra mustard on that pitch from Michael Stanford. He's feeling it. They're all feeling it. Really just swinging out of his shoes right there.
How about it? What a night in Saugerties. Not done just yet, but these Stallions faithful can taste it. A franchise founded in 2015. The Hinchy family took over in right after that 2015 season. It's been a climb to where they are now. A strike and then another out away from the championship.
Hey, finish him in. Come on. What do you say, Mike? Come on. Oh, look good. Look good.
Wanted that.
You all that's too good to take, man. That's too good to take right there, 2-0.
Stevenson racing back. Got it! Mike Borelli flies out on a remarkable play by the Stallions center fielder. And Jake, the Saugerties Stallions are not away from the PGCBL championship.
Yes, they are.
Jackson Dejean, 0 for 2. And he fouled it off. Steady improvement every season. That's been the name of the game since the Hinchies took over. 2 previous playoff appearances, but never a home playoff game. And a grounder gets past Iverson. This could be extra bases as Dejean heads off to second. And a 2-out double. Just a well-hit ball by Jackson Dejean, who both defensively and now offensively has been really good tonight.
Yeah, but hey, doesn't matter. You're up by 6. Shake it. You're focusing on Cody here.
Dalton Cody 0 for 3. Pair of ground outs and a strikeout.
Come on, Mike.
A baseball crazy town. And their team now just 1 out away from the PGCBL championship. I'd guess about 3,000 fans in attendance, all of them on their feet. There's a strike. So it comes to this. A full count. 2 outs. An 8-2 lead. And a packed house at Cantine Fields. Michael Stanford can move the Stallions on to the championship. The celebration will have to wait just a little bit longer.
Right on the corner. As I said, doesn't matter. Just get the next one. Now you got Good to focus on.
Elliot Good has been a menace both offensively and defensively tonight for Geneva. Reached base twice with a single and a walk, and also as a strikeout.
Hey, relax and go to work. Come on. Go. That right arm's got to work a little longer.
6-run lead, but always a pressure situation in a moment like this. Good. Line to Iverson. Ticket punched. On to the PGCBL championship. Jake, the Saugerties Stallions are headed on to face the Amsterdam Mohawks in the next round. We can focus on that tomorrow, but for tonight, what a win for the Stallions, what a night for this community. 8-2 of the final, your thoughts on tonight's matchup?
Heck of an effort all around. They pitched, they hit, they fielded. Everything was great tonight. And hey, enjoy the night, but when the clock turns to midnight, when you wake up tomorrow morning, they want more. Tonight's been great. I think they want more.
We're going to turn things over to Dylan McGlynn and Jake Starr. I'll hunt down to the field, grab our Stable Club Stallion of the game. 8-2 the final. And let's turn it over here to Dylan.
Thanks, John. We'll step away real quick as John heads down to get set up with the Stable Club Stallion of the game. Be right back on the Stallions Broadcast Network.
You're looking up there.
Back here on the Stallions Broadcast Network, John Gross down to not just one, but two Stallions of the game. John?
Thanks, Jake. Joined by the two stars of tonight's game, our Stable Club stars of the night, Andrew Wilhite, Josh Stevenson. We'll start with you, Andrew. What does this win mean to this squad? You're headed to the PGCBL championship.
I mean, that means a lot. We've had a great year overall. We've been playing really good baseball, and I think just to win a playoff game at home, too, for everybody, I think it just means a lot to everyone.
Very successful onto the plate, had 4 runs batted in. You really were making great contact. What were the keys to your success tonight?
I think it was just being aggressive early and just attacking the pitcher. I think that's all you have. I think that's just trying to keep it simple and put yourself in a good spot and just put good barrel on the ball.
Josh, 3 for 5 tonight. None bigger than the 3-run home run at the bottom of the 8th. What was your approach in that at-bat?
You know, just trying to keep the foot on the gas pedal. I mean, we had a good lead on them and just tried to put them out.
Once that ball got off the barrel, what was going through your mind?
You know, I saw it. It was a little high, but it felt good off the barrel, and I knew I got it, so it felt great.
Guys, congratulations on the win tonight. Andrew Wilhite, Josh Stevenson, our co-Stable Club stars of the night. The Saugerties Stallions are headed to the PGCBL Championship Series. Guys, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, guys.
Jake, back to you.
Thanks, John. And Dylan, just reflect real quick, you know, what this means for the organization, what this means for the team. First ever home game, and now first ever championship appearance in franchise history.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people saw the hype video this morning talking about how Saugerties is very much a baseball town, and well, if you were in attendance tonight, that was certainly proven Huge crowd tonight. The atmosphere was electric. No doubt that played at least somewhat of a role in the game tonight. And obviously, on the field, Stallions got out to a good lead on the Andres Alfont with a really good start on the mound. And offensively, the team just looked really comfortable, really from the first pitch until the end of the game.
So it's an 8-2 win for the Stallions over Geneva tonight to earn a spot in the PGCBL Championship Series. That starts tomorrow night. Stallions and the Amsterdam Mohawks, a familiar foe, with a chance to win their first ever PGCBL Championship. On behalf of John Gross and Dylan McGlynn, and our camera operator Mike Gross, and our producer Nick Salchek, we'll see you tomorrow for the Championship Series. Thanks for joining us from Cantine Field.